Hello and welcome to That Shooting Show. My name's Steve Anderson. I am your humble host. Want to thank our partners first. You know them, you love them. Say them with me like I know you do at home. Walther Firearms is the title sponsor of the podcast and of AndersonShooting.com. And they wish me to remind you that every one of the competition appropriate Walther pistols does come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if it fails to meet your expectations in any way, well, that'll be your problem, not the gun's problem. Let's get real here. They'll give you a money-back guarantee. There's nobody else in the industry that does that. You cannot buy any other gun. You can't even buy a used gun and take it back for a refund if you don't like it in the vast majority of gun stores. So Walther is putting their money where their mouth is. And they're actually putting your money where it's your money, their mouth. They're putting your money where their mouth is, and then your mouth, if you say, I don't like it with your mouth, that would return it. So your money, their mouth, their money is back to your money. Everybody's money in everybody's mouth. That's what's happening. If you don't like it, they will refund your money 100p. And of course, Targets USA manufactures the finest steel targetry on the planet. Say it with me at home. CR Speed, as you know, manufactures the finest gun handling gadgetry you can wrap around your waist or anywhere else. The AMG-Lab.com Command Timer continues to turn heads and blow minds with a longer than average lead time. Let's try that again. The AMG-Lab.com Command Timer continues to turn heads and blow minds by putting that there time right into that there tablet. It's so fun when I take the tablet to classes and we do the sample stage and they're like, I gotta record the time. And I say, just push the stopwatch button. I know, but I gotta record the time. No, just push the stopwatch button. Puts it right in there. Every glorious gunfire event is captured for your study and perusal. And of course, Hunter's HD Gold is the only eyewear that I wear, and I are wearing it right now. I probably spend, 95% of my life behind Hunter's HD Gold. The world is pretty ugly outside of these glasses, and I don't really like it. So, yeah, I spend the vast majority of my time behind Hunter's HD Gold. Love the way the world looks, love the increased clarity. Everything about it is fantastic. OutdoorDynamics.net, as you know, remanufactures the finest competition ammunition you can dispense from your Freedom Seed dispenser. And Shooting Sports Innovations is a lot to type because there's a lot to see. That covers everybody. One thing about Outdoor Dynamics that I want to tell you is prices are fluctuating because of ammunition components and their pricing. His profit margin always stays the same. So if his prices are changing, it's because the components are changing. So that's all there is to it. All right, I want to let you know we have mental management coming up December 12th. What the heck did I write? Oh, December 6th and 7th. That's such a mess. What does that even say? 12, 6, 8, 1. So what we think that means is December 6th and 7th at 1 p.m. and December 18, 19, and 20 from 6 to 8 p.m. So those are the next two mental management classes for December. I'm just telling you, if shooting is, well, let's see. Let's just say an average. Let's just say your annual budget's $5,000. Don't tell your wife. So let's just see, 300 divided by 5,000. I hope I got those in the right order. That would be 0.6% of your annual shooting budget. If your shooting budget is $5,000 a year, okay, probably closer to 10. Again, don't say it out loud because your wife might be listening. Closer to 10. I know mine was in the 10s for sure. Travel, ammunition, all the rest of it. That makes it 3% of your shooting budget. And if I asked you what percentage of shooting is mental, you're going to give me a number bigger than 3%. The question is, what are you doing about it? Are you going to join the ranks of people that have... You don't really learn mental management. You become a mental manager. Let's just put it that way. It'll change the way you look at life. It'll change your performance at work. If you manage people, it will change that. If you're a parent, it'll make you a better parent. It'll change your life. If you take it seriously and if you apply it, it will absolutely change your life 100% for the better. So those are those opportunities. We are booking all kinds of technical classes for 2024. You can go to andersonshooting.com and see those. And if you want a class in your area, you can get that class for free. All you have to do is be the class sponsor / organizer, arrange the range, have the option of hosting me in your home if you want to, and then we can do the class and you get the class for free. It's as simple as that. And you don't have to pay the range fees yourself. Range fees are certainly negotiable. Range fees are anywhere from $20 a head to $1,000 a day. We just need to know what those are so we can price the class accordingly. I don't like the surprise that happens at the end where we go, okay, let's talk about range fees, and they go, yeah, it's $1,200. Well, it would have been nice to know that. Yeah, 100% my fault. So if you want to do a class, you want to get a class for free, you just say, hey, I can get a range. Hey, I can do it. And we can do a standard class. We can do advanced class. Either one of those can be tied into a match if a match is available. And then you get match mode coaching. The big difference between the standard and the advanced class is, wait for it and be really honest with yourself. If a 10-yard popper is an easy shot, then you can do the advanced class. If a 10-yard popper is a difficult shot, then the advanced class may not be for you. It's as simple as that. Because if you're having trouble hitting a 10-yard popper, standing still, then the things we're going to show you how to do with regard to movement, you may struggle a little bit. And it's fine with me. Just understand that that's the primary difference. If a 10-yard popper is an easy shot, we can do the advanced class. If it is not an easy shot, then we cannot. All right, we have a letter from Joseph. Joseph, I want to thank you for continuing to send me podcast topics and show ideas. This guy, he's just as reliable as the Democrat Party on what he do. Well, they are more reliable because they never change what they do. He's just as reliable as he can be. And here's what he says. I'm a mid-level shooter in both IDPA and USPSA. Generally, I don't watch anyone shoot a stage before me. I close my eyes and get a visualization rep in. When I become a GM and I'm on a super squad, should I continue to not watch? Okay, well, whether you watch the shooter before you or not is up to you. You probably knew I was going to say that, didn't you? The only thing that matters is the imprint to your self-image based on what you see them do. Okay? The way self-image works, every thought you have about your shooting goes into your self-image. Okay? Think of it as the files that you write, your after-action reports. If you believe you're great at something and you're not good at something else, that's self-image. If you always do this and you never do that, that's self-image. So if watching somebody do something extraordinary is a negative imprint to your self-image, it needs to be avoided and or controlled. Surely if, let's say, you're carry optics and you watch a PCC shooter, well, who cares? They're shooting a different sport. If you're carry optics and you watch an open shooter, who cares? They're shooting a different sport. Now, if you're watching somebody in your class, in your division shoot the stage, you got to protect yourself from the imprint. It's just as simple as that. Watching that is either going to increase your confidence or decrease your confidence, and I don't think it's ever necessary. What are you going to learn from watching the shooter before you? Well, I might want to change my stage plan. Really? Have we not covered that ad nauseum over the years? Only at the very upper level can a shooter make a minor change to stage plan and not inflict caninus enterococci. That's screwing the pooch. Only at the very, very upper level. When I was competing, I could make a minor change to my stage plan, usually based on timers of movers and activators. Might decide to skip the drop turner. I might sneak in some more homework between the activator and the mover, something like that. Always very minor. Never would we do a complete overhaul of the stage plan right before shooting. Just never. So the question is, what can you gain from watching? Not much. What can you gain? Now, if there's a mover involved, you can learn some stuff from that. But what can you gain from not watching? You can gain more control over your performance. You can get more visualized reps of what you are going to do. And you have an opportunity to increase your confidence while you do it. I'm telling you guys, the imprints to your self-image will always be the same as your performance. Not always the same as your result, but always the same as your performance. Anything you tell yourself about your shooting is true. Anything you tell yourself about the guy in front of you, that's also true. Oh, I could never do that. Look at his, listen to those splits. Oh, I could never do that. Well, those are negative imprints. That's to be avoided. Now, I would say at some point, and this is similar to looking at results during the match, at some point we need to be mentally tough enough to be able to watch that and not have it be a negative imprint for whatever reason. But I don't know that there's anything to be gained, especially at the intermediate level, from watching somebody before you shoot. And at the upper level, if you're a grandmaster and you see a grandmaster before you doing grandmaster things, well, guess what? You can also do grandmaster things because you are a grandmaster. So short term, long term, I don't see any benefit to watching the shooter before you. I think there's more downside than upside, but I do think you need to be able to handle it. That's just all there is to it. P.S. I never saw mommy kissing Santa Claus, so I still believe. Thanks, Steve. Okay. Yeah, we Mrs. Anderson decorated for Christmas. Literally the eve of Thanksgiving Eve, and it's been Christmassy. It's like a Christmas bomb blew up in here, but that's okay. Makes her happy. Makes me happy. All right. So what we want to talk about today is what are you doing to reach your goals? And we in the mental management class, we do the entire third program is what are you doing to reach your goals? And so we're going to give you a brief synopsis of what that looks like. And then in the actual mental management class, we actually go through it line by line with me and whoever else is in the class, and we identify some things. Because here's the thing about shooting. There's not a lot of measurable pay value in the shooting sports. Meaning this ain't golf where the guy that comes in 10th gets a check for $500,000, $75,000, whatever it is. This ain't that. So there has to be some other reason why you want what you want. So we'll get to that in a minute. Number one, what is your goal in the shooting world? Say it out loud. In your Subarus, in your bucket trucks, what do you want? Do you want to be a master? Do you want to be a grandmaster? Do you want to get out of C class? Do you want to get to A class? And by the way, if you say your goal is grandmaster, don't you dare follow it up with, well, I don't want to be a paper GM. You want to get me on a rant, you want to get me on a tangent, you do a couple of things. Number one, you rush a shooter at make ready, I'm going to get up in your face a little bit. And you say paper GM to me, I'm going to get up in your face a little bit. Politely, of course. Because if somebody makes the rank of grandmaster without cheating, they are a USPSA grandmaster. Now, if you want to say they're not nationally competitive, that's fine. But you don't get to call them a paper GM because they earned the title. When I got my grandmaster card, it did not say paper GM. It said grandmaster. That's all I cared about. I make no apologies for that. Well, I never was a world champion. Well, that wasn't my goal, and I never claimed it was. I came into shooting after a failed career. I mean, when you put your first album out at 15, can you really call that failed? But the reality is I didn't get a record deal. We were so close on 2 occasions. And then Nirvana came out, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Anything that looked like a hair band was gone. Just completely gone. And we weren't a hair band, but we looked like one. So we were gone. It's as simple as that. And when I became aware that Grandmaster was a thing, I said, I'm doing it. Didn't care what it took. I'm doing it. Because I needed somebody's stamp of approval next to my name. And I didn't know it at the time. But I needed to say, you know what, Anderson? You're in the top 5%. That's all I cared about. Okay? So, if you don't like it, tough. All right, so maybe you want to be a grandmaster. Maybe you want to be locally competitive. Maybe you want to be the local hot dog. That's great. Maybe you want to be regionally competitive. Maybe you want to be a state champion. Maybe you want to be nationally competitive. Maybe you want to be a state, area, or national champion. That's great. Well, I like to pick a reasonable goal. That's fine too, but know this. Reasonable goals inspire reasonable change. Unreasonable goals inspire unreasonable change. And that's what you have to figure out. What am I willing and able to do to get this result? We'll get back to that in a minute. So, once you've said your goal out loud, I need to know why you want it. Well, I don't need to know. You need to know why you want it. We call this pay value. And it must be honest and sincere with no apologies. Sometimes you talk about pay value and the guy goes, well, I really want to demonstrate safe and proficient gun handling. I call BS on that. Well, I'd like to be known as the guy who can put a good mess together. Don't believe that either. How about this? I want to drive the car that people are afraid of at the match. Now that I believe. I want people to tremble with fear when they see my name in practice score. I believe that too. I want to be the best iron sight shooter in the world. Now that I believe. Maybe it's peer recognition. I have a lot of people beat around the bush and tell me that they want to get the G so that they have increased training credibility. They want to teach classes, and if they feel like being a GM will make them more credible, that's completely true. It will. And that's fine if that's what you want. Maybe you want to be respected or feared. That's fine too. Right? One of my favorite pay values I ever heard was the guy said, I want to drive the car that people are afraid of in the parking lot. So when people are walking to registration, they walk past my El Camino. I started to say El Camaro. That'd be pretty sweet. And they walk past my El Camaro, the pickup bed and the stuff. They're afraid. Oh, look, so-and-so's here. I'm going to be in second place. Maybe that's what you want, but you have to know that. Think about it. Why do you want this thing that you want? And then we got to figure out, what are you going to do about it? What are the differences between you and someone who has reached your goal? We got an interesting preview into this several months ago, probably 6 months now. Eric Graffel put out his live fire training schedule prior to, I believe, the World Shoot. Maybe it was just an important match. And it started at 1,000 rounds a day, 1,000 rounds a day, 30 days out. And then I believe it intensified by about 500 per week. Now, I don't know if that's accurate or not, and it doesn't really matter, but a lot of people looked at that and said, I can't do that. I've never shot 1,000 rounds a day for 30 days, let alone the 500 round incremental increases. Maybe that's necessary to win a World Shoot. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Eric Graffel thinks it is. Or he wants you to think that he thinks it is. But that's one example of the differences between you and someone who's reached your goal. Now, then I want to ask you a hard question. And you guys know the answer to this, by the way. Let's say you set a goal to be GM, and at the end of the season, you come at 94.9%. What is going to be the likely cause? And you know the answer. You set a goal to win your state match or an area match, and you come in 99.9% of the winner. What is the reason going to be? You know the answer to this. You know who you're going to be facing at these matches. You know what they can do, and you know what you can do. So what is the likely reason if you fall just short? If it's technical, it's either speed or accuracy. The guy who's likely to beat you and deprive you of your goal is either faster or she's more accurate. Well, it could be both. Yes, it could be both. But if it's both, if they're faster and more accurate, you're probably not at 99%. And it may not even be technical, by the way. It might be mental causing the reason. The shooting sports are full of phenomenal shooters who are not very good competitors. Fantastic shooters who are, I don't want to name names, and I'm not going to name names, but boy, could I name some names of phenomenal shooters who are not great competitors. Frequently the best shooters on the range, frequently the worst competitors on the range. But if it's mental, it could be inconsistency. I got a good stage, got a bad stage. Today was my good day. Tomorrow's going to be my bad day. I hope my day 3 is going to be a good day. Inconsistency. Inconsistency is always caused by inconsistent thinking. Got to go fast here. The key is effort. Got to slow down and get my hits. And if you're shooting below your level of skill, that can either be under trying or over trying. Over trying is rest, try, hurry, obviously. Under trying is slowing down to get your hits. And new people will vacillate back and forth. They'll vacillate. What's the other word that's similar to that? They'll vacillate. They'll oscillate. You got to be careful with the rhymes there, Anderson. But they'll go back and forth between rush, try, hurry, slowing down to get your hits. The interesting thing about both of those is they require the conscious mind to determine the amount of overtrying or undertrying, which will, by definition, prevent access to the training that you've done. So if you want zero access to the training that you've done, tell yourself you're not quite good enough, go out there and overtry or undertry, and you will get zero access to your training. Now, if you want 100% access to your training, tell yourself, I can make every shot in this match, and I can do it without slowing down. And the results will be what they will be. Que sera, sera. By the way, if you're into jazz, there's a group like acoustic female singer, smoky barroom jazz. There's a Holly Cole Trio album called Don't Smoke in Bed that has a version of Que Sera, Sera on there. That whole album is just amazing from beginning to end. But Holly Cole Trio, Don't Smoke in Bed, I believe it's got to be the one. That was the soundtrack for my entire first marriage, just so you know. Phenomenal record. Que sera, sera. But if you pre-accept the results, remember there's 4 ways you can do that. I don't care. It is what it is. I'm going to do well. I'm likely to win. There may be subtle variations of those, but those are the 4 big ones. I don't care is not possible in an important match. It is what it is possible, particularly if you're going to a big match for the first time. I'm going to do well is wonderful. I'm likely to win cannot be faked. You'll know it when you feel it, and you local hot dogs know the feeling. You local hot dogs, you know when you go to your local match, you're going to win. I had one guy, mental man, who would say, it's not even going to be close. And that feeling cannot be faked. So don't try. So we have to know, if you fall short, if you come in the bridesmaid again, second place, 99%, speed or accuracy, or is it mental? And the good news is I can help you with all of that. If you got a speed problem, we can fix that. If you got an accuracy problem, that's normally 100% mental, we can fix that. And any sort of mental game problems, we can absolutely fix and get you on your way to your goal. Now, let's talk about level of participation. Level of participation is the time and money you are willing and able to spend on the sport. Level of participation. We have gotten dry fire to a place where, let's just say, the only thing you need a shooting range for is splits and shot calling. And they're kind of the same thing. Everything else you can do in dry fire. So it doesn't need to take as much money. Now, that will require more time. And you will need to go to the range periodically to make sure you can call your shots. Perfect. But you live inside of a level of participation. It's the time and money you are willing and able to spend on the sport. And this needs to be consistent with the goal. There's 2 ways you can look at this. I'm willing to do X. You know, my buddy Shara Batha in South Africa. Such a cool guy. Very, very smart. Shorts are a little too short. He's on the Joey Sauerland plan, but that's fine. It's just kind of a thing over there. He says to me, look, I like a low level of participation, but I want to do well when I go out. Piece of cake. He may not be the best shooter on the range when he goes out, but he's such a smart dude, he will always be among the best competitors on the range. And he will frustrate a lot of people. So you can say, I'm willing to do these things and accept the results. For example, I'm willing to dry fire 30 minutes a day, go to the range once a week, and I'm cool with whatever happens after that. Or you can say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish this goal. And I can't decide that for you. When I wanted the G card, I was in the I'll do whatever it takes. I didn't care how long it took. I never put a deadline on it because it was inevitable. I didn't know or care how long it was going to take. And a deadline is only useful if you can exponentially increase your level of participation. For example, if you want to lose 10 pounds, it's pretty easy to do. But if you want to lose 10 pounds in 10 days, that requires a much higher level of participation. It's the easiest way to explain it. 10 pounds, whatever. I'll cut 300 calories a day. I'll lose 10 pounds when I lose 10 pounds. That's fine. I want to lose 10 pounds in 10 days requires drastic measures. Unreasonable goals inspire unreasonable change. Now, I had a talk with a guy today who is starting to feel a little bit of burnout. Burnout occurs when effort exceeds reward. Meaning, I'm putting more into this than I'm getting out. Burnout in jobs, burnout in relationships, burnout in hobbies occurs when the effort exceeds the reward. And this requires an adjustment of level of participation and or pay value. Sorry, my screen just did a funny thing. There we go. And we're rolling, and we're good. So, if you're feeling burned out, here's your options. Take a scheduled break. Really think about what you want and why you want it. If you're feeling burnout, it's probably because you haven't identified pay value or a goal. For example, level of participation. I just want to go to matches and have fun. Fine. It requires very little training to go and have fun. But don't get mad if you look at the results, because you said all you cared about was having fun. You didn't say you wanted to win. But if you want to win, I need to know why, or you need to know why. Otherwise, you're going to find it very difficult, if not impossible, to do the required work. You want to beat somebody, you got to outsmart them, and you got to outwork them. You got to be a better competitor, and you got to be a better shooter. And I can make you a better competitor very, very quickly. Becoming a better shooter will take a little bit longer. So, what are you doing to reach your goals? What do you want? Why do you want it? And what are you going to do about it? There's something different, right? So let's just look at Eric Goffel as the easiest example. Multiple national champion, multiple world shoot winner. What is different about him than you? Well, he was born gifted and talented. I don't believe that. I do not believe in a lot of natural ability shooting a firearm. I just don't. Okay? I've seen enough people start and enough people finish. I can't remember. Well, even that wasn't really new. Let's put it this way. If you believe that the world shoot winner was born better than you, that's a problem. Because I don't believe that. If you're an able-bodied human being, you can do it. But what are the differences? Does he live fire more than you? Sure he does. Does he train more than you? Of course he does. But if you want to beat somebody like that, you've got to identify and eliminate the differences between them and you. When you eliminate the differences between them and you, that's when you'll catch them, especially when you become a better competitor. So I would love to help you reach your goals. All you got to do is let me know you're interested in doing that. We can make you a better shooter, and we can make you a better competitor. That is the magic recipe. So, till we meet again on the range or anywhere else, be like me, do what I do, say it with me. 1, 2, 3, get to work.